What's going on, people? It's Asher, aka Kanjo, and I am back again with another video from Cultaholic, and this one is 10 wrestlers with 2 great finishes. Alright, so everyone knows every wrestler has at least 2 signature moves. So you'll have your signature and then the finisher. I only remember it like that from the SmackDown games or SmackDown versus Raw games. They'll have a signature and a finisher. For example, The Rock would have the Rock Bottom. Then it will have the People's Elbow. John Cena will have the STFU, and then the Attitude Adjustment, or the STF, sorry, then the Attitude Adjustment. You have Brock Lesnar, he'll have a Kimura Lock, and then the F5. Roman Reigns, Superman Punch, the Spear, you know, it goes hand in hand, all right? So we're gonna look at 10 wrestlers with 2 great finishes. It should be a great video. Let's get into it. If you're not already, make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit that like button, and make sure you are engaging some conversation down below. Let me know your favorite finisher, or your favorite signature, or your favorite superstar, your favorite wrestler with 2 great finishes. Yeah? Let's get into it. Let's go.
Every wrestler needs a finishing move. Otherwise, wrestling matches would never end and go on forever, trapping us all in a hellish nightmare of Irish whips and side headlock takeovers.
Facts.
Some wrestlers found one finisher and made it work for them, whilst others have employed multiple exciting match-ending moves across their career. Talk about greedy. I'm Adam Pacitti from Cultaholic Wrestling, and these are 10 wrestlers with 2 great finishers. Join us. Get it? But first, if you needed the best protection possible, who would you turn to? Brock Lesnar? Omos? Maybe get Farouk and Bradshaw back out of retirement? No. If you want the best protection out there, then there is naught better than NordVPN.
Okay, that's great.
Cheers to Nord for sponsoring this video. We at Cultaholic truly believe that
Lovely. Thanks for that.
Number 10, CM Punk. In the summer of 2006, the WWE Universe was introduced to a plucky young man called CM Punk. The former Ring of Honor World Champion beats Just Incredible in his first televised match, using the Anaconda Vice to get the job done. The Vice is a modified compression chokehold, which I had to look up online. The only thing I could have told you off the top of my head was that it was named after a snake. Though the move looked effective, WWE higher-ups wanted Punk to use something else, and so he introduced the go-to-sleep to his arsenal. A fireman's carry into a neat...
Even though I'm not the biggest CM Punk fan, I do think the GTS is a very cold finisher. I think, I could be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong down below, but I think Kenta originated the GTS and then CM Punk adapted it into his moveset. I could be wrong, but I think that's why they're kind of like butting heads, or they want to have like a match together or something. Actually, I don't think Kenta even wants a match with CM Punk. But yeah, the GTS is a very, very, very good finishing maneuver.
E-strike to the face, the GTS quickly became the straight-edge superstar's most recognisable move. It's the move he beat John Cena with at Money in the Bank, the move he used during both of his Money in the Bank cash-ins, and the move he beat Adam Page with to win the AEW World Championship. Yes, sir, the GTS is Punk's move through and through. Isn't that right, Kenta?
See?
Please don't kill me. Number 9, Sting. Did Sting steal the sharpshooter from Bret Hart, or did Bret Hart steal the Scorpion Deathlock from Sting? The answer is neither. The move was first invented by Japanese wrestling legend Riki Choshu. Now you can all stop bickering, alright? Who am I kidding? This is the internet, we're all doomed. Anyway, the Stinger did popularise the move in the United States, take that Hitman, and used it to win many of his matches during his surfer days. The move is incredibly well known now, with every Canadian wrestler forced to learn it before they can even think about stepping into a ring. When Sting came back to confront the NWO in WCW, his attitude and appearance had changed drastically. This metamorphosis was foreshadowed by a new finishing move from the Icon, which he debuted right before he disappeared. On a 1996 episode of Nitro, Sting took out the NWO imposter version of himself with an inverted DDT, aka the Scorpion Death Drop. Following this Sting section, see what I did there? and the move would join the Deathlock in Sting's repertoire. The way he's going at the moment, expect him to still be using both of them at the age of 206. Number 8?
I wasn't really a big WCW guy. I was more into the WWF at the time, in the Attitude Era. That's like where I pretty much grew up from. But I would like to go back and watch like the transformation of like the bright coloured Sting into the Crow Sting and see like how it all like panned out. Well, I know how it panned out, but I want to see the change for like myself. So I might do that in my own time and go back and watch through like how he transitioned. But yeah, I used to think the Scorpion Deathlock was a ripoff of the Sharpshooter. But I was a Bret Hart guy, so I'm sticking to Bret Hart and the Sharpshooter. I think he's the master. Yeah, the excellence of execution is the guy, Bret Hart.
Kevin Owens. Whilst the Stunner is certainly a cool move, to call it Kevin Owens' finisher would do a disservice to the man who created it.
Facts.
Thank you, John Laurinaitis. Oh yeah, and something about Stone Cold Steve Austin as well. Thankfully, Kev has used multiple great final moves in his time. In the early days of his WWE run, Owens would use the pop-up powerbomb to put his opponents away. As an opponent was running towards him, he would chuck them up in the air, catch them in a powerbomb position, and then yeet them into the earth.
Yeet.
Impressive, but good luck trying to do that to the Big Show.
Yeet.
Prior to his move to McMahon Land, Owens went by his real name of Kevin Steen in various indies and, of course, Ring of Honor. The move he used to great effect there was the package pile driver. With an opponent's arms and legs hooked tightly together, Steen would drop them right on the top of their head. Though he's teased it many times, Kevin Owens has never actually hit the move in WWE. There's no way they would ever let him.
Yeah,
Number 7, Daniel
way.
Bryan.
There's no way. Well, sometimes, the last time I actually saw a full-fledged pile driver in the WWE was John Cena versus CM Punk on was it Raw 1000? Where CM Punk turned heel? That's the last time I've actually fully seen a pile driver on WWE television. You have like the other moves like a tombstone pile driver, but that's more protected, that's more safe. But I haven't seen a pile driver in WWE in a very long time. AEW, yes. But WWE, nah, they ain't gonna do that.
Bryan Danielson / Daniel Bryan / Braniel Dionson has used many techniques to end his matches. Heel hooks, dragon suplexes, the bizarre and fantastic cattle mutilation submission, mighty foes from across the globe have all fallen to these moves. The two we are talking about here are the ones he used most often in WWE. He had the LaBelle Lock, named after legendary wrestler Gene LaBelle right from the get-go, using it to win his first championship in WWE at Night of Champions 2010. It would of course also be known as the Yes Lock, the No Lock, and the Maybe Lock. Might have made one of those up. His second finisher, which was just called the Running Knee, was introduced at SummerSlam 2013. This was the move he used to nail John Cena with to win their match and the WWE Championship. He would hold the belt for about 2 minutes before Randy Orton cashed in on him. Whoops. Bryan is known as both a striker and a submission specialist, so it makes sense that he would have a devastating one of each in his finisher's resume. The moral of this story? Don't mess with the beardy little goat. Number 6, Chris Jericho. Before you say something, the Judas effect is not on this list. Whilst it's being presented as a world beater in AEW...
If it's not the Judas effect, I'm gonna say it's the Lion Salt and the Walls of Jericho, which... it has to be.
It's just a reverse elbow at the end of the day. I mean, I could do that. I'd probably fall over and split my trousers, but I could still do it. Jericho's best 2 finishes are also a submission and a striking move.
Oh.
The hold is the oldest, as Y2J has been using his signature Lion Tamer since his WCW days. The Lion Tamer is different to the Walls of Jericho, by the way. The Lion Tamer is done at a higher angle and involves Jericho jamming his knee into his opponent's back. The Walls looks pretty comfortable by comparison. When Jericho
Yeah, the Walls of Jericho is literally a Boston Crab where you're sitting down on the back. The Lion Tamer, like you just said, is more elevated. But I prefer the Lion Tamer to the Boston Crab. The Boston Crab just looks like you just sat on someone's back. It looks painful, but the Lion Tamer looks A lot more better.
Turned to WWE in 2007, he brought with him a new finisher. A jumping double knee strike to the face, the Codebreaker became his go-to match ender and quickly got over as a deadly blow. Even if you're not the Codebreaker's biggest fan, you have to admit it was better than the Breakdown, Jericho's version of the skull-crushing finale. I'd be happy if he never, ever unleashed that load of...
But to be fair to him, he did win the WCW Championship with the Breakdown against The Rock at No Mercy. The Skull Crushing finale is pretty much the same, but yeah, the Breakdown was dead. Very dead. Very dead. But let me know down below what you did find better between the Lion Tamer and the Walls of Jericho.
Oh, bollocks again. Number 5, AJ Styles. Another wrestler with an embarrassingly high number of finishes to his name is the phenomenal AJ Styles. Moves like the Springboard 450 and Spiral Tap are cool, but don't really get used enough to qualify for this list. Then there's the Calf Crusher / Calf Killer for you nerds out there, which is a cool submission, but doesn't really win matches for Styles anymore. What we're left with are 2 moves that will forever be associated with wrestling's greatest soccer mum. The phenomenal forearm, a springboard flying forearm, became AJ's weapon of choice shortly after joining WWE.
Yeah.
Though there was some brouhaha about it replacing some of his old moves, you cannot deny just how bloody cool it looks.
Yeah.
Especially when he hits someone with it through a table.
Yeah.
And then there is AJ's great contribution to...
His form, when he's doing the forearm off, like from a springboard, is crisp. I'm not gonna lie, it's a very simple move, but it looks great. It looks great. The height he gets, the form, like I said, bang. Yeah. I'm liking the phenomenal forearm.
To the sport, the absurdly wonderful but little bit divisive Styles Clash. Through a combination of wrestling ability and magic, AJ hoists his opponents up vertically, hooking their arms and legs before splatting them into the mat. Yeah, this move doesn't finish too many matches either anymore, but it did for a long time. Number 4, The Undertaker. The Last Ride Powerbomb was a thing of beauty. Innovated during The Undertaker's American Badass.
Do you remember the last ride he gave to, was it Taka Michinoku, I think, and Orton, one of them two. It was between Kane and The Undertaker, had like a tag match, and they was demonstrating the powerbomb between them both, and the height they both got was crazy.
Era, the dead man would lift his opponents up for a standard powerbomb, but then extend his arms up fully to add even more height to the move. I mean, do you know how tall The Undertaker is? Anyone
right
taking
there.
this move fell
That
for about
one.
25 feet before they hit anything.
Yeah.
Whilst The Last Ride was really cool, it actually doesn't make our list, mainly because it wasn't Taker's finisher for too long. The 2 moves we are looking at are his signature submission hold, Hell's Gate, and the iconic Tombstone Piledriver.
Really?
Mark Calloway's love of MMA inspired him to introduce a
Really?
realistic-looking...
I don't agree. I would have said the Last Ride or the Tombstone or the Chokeslam and the Tombstone. I wouldn't do the hell. Okay, all right.
Hold into his arsenal. This is where the Hell's Gate, a modified Goga-Plata, comes from. As for the Tombstone, that has been part of Taker's character since day one.
Yeah.
He has put away hundreds, if not thousands, of opponents with
facts.
that move, and it's been associated with him for over 30 years.
Facts.
Sometimes he even does a little jump with it, like he did at WrestleMania 26 against Shawn Michaels.
Facts.
Tasty.
And Survivor Series 2001, where he had Shane McMahon, and he was like, boom, boom, whoop, bow. Yeah, that one there. I think that one was put in a game. I think that one was put in Smackdown, Shut Your Mouth, I think. I could be wrong, but yeah, let me know. Let me know down below.
Number 3, Kurt Angle. For my money, the best combination of pinning move and submission hold finishes in wrestling history belongs to one of the very best to ever lace up a pair of boots. Kurt Angle's pinning move is the effortlessly cool Angle Slam, or the Olympic Slam if you prefer. Angle would place his head under his opponent's arm before lifting them up and spinning them round simultaneously for maximum impact. See that time he hit one on Shane McMahon into some confetti for a perfect example. And then is
The build and match for King of the Ring 2001 against Shane and Kurt Angle, great. That was the match where Kurt chucked Shane through the glass panels and like knocked him out on the concrete. Vince would try to stop the match, but I was like, no, I'm gonna continue. Yeah, great. Great match.
Is the ankle lock, the move that makes Angle look like even more of a beast than he already does. A simple hold applied to an opponent's foot. The ankle
And when
lock was
when
always
he
put
lock
over
it
as one
with
of the
his
most
legs and
painful
grapevine it,
submissions in WWE
crazy.
history. Angle would sell it like a madman, tensing his face and screaming his lungs out to get across
facts.
how much torque he was putting into the move.
Facts.
And hey, if the lock on its own wasn't enough to finish someone off, then Angle would break out his ultimate weapon, the grapevine. Once you were stuck in that, Angle was simply gonna have his way with you.
Yeah, facts.
Not like that. Number 2, The Rock. If we are being completely
Mentioned this at the start of the video. Rock bottom and people's elbow.
totally 100% honest with ourselves, both of The Rock's most famous finishing moves kinda suck. The rock bottom is fine, but can lack a little oomph sometimes, and as for the people's elbow, well, it's just an elbow drop, innit? I mean, The Rock even stops running before he hits it, cancelling out all of the momentum he gained by hitting the ropes. But you know what? I don't care, and I don't think any of you do either. What the great one's big hitters lack in power, they more than make up for in theatricality.
Yeah.
I mean, think about how many huge pops have come from Rocky wrapping his arm around someone's chest and drilling them into the mat with a uranagi.
Yeah.
And sure, it might not actually pack a punch, but the people's elbow is practically an American national treasure at this point. And that sums up The Rock's entire career. He got 2 finishes over through the sheer force of unparalleled charisma. They
Facts.
might not look very
Facts.
painful or be
Facts.
all that legitimate.
I remember Mick Foley, Mankind, he refused to sell the move because it was stupid. He thought the people's elbow was stupid. How can I lose to an elbow drop? Is what it is, man.
But in
Is what it
terms
is.
of wrestling moves, you would be hard-pressed to find a more beloved combination. Number 1, Randy Orton. Randy Orton used to have a truly awful finisher. The Ozone, which MVP also used as the playmaker, was a swinging neck breaker where the wrestler doing
Punt
the move
kick.
would put their leg over their opponent's head. It added pretty much nothing and only succeeded in jamming the attacker's own knee into the mat. Thankfully, in 2003, Orton began using the move that would make him famous. I mean, what else is there to say about the RKO? It's quick, it's brutal, it can famously be hit from out of nowhere. It is the perfect finisher. Well, unless you're Orton's lower back. Because one all-time great finisher wasn't good enough for the Viper, he introduced another one in 2006. If Orton really needed to put someone away, then he would turn to the punt kick. What he would do was, well, he would run up to someone really fast and punt them in the head. Not pretty, but very effective. The punt is Orton's nuclear option for when he really wants to concuss someone. He has written countless people off TV with the move, which remains one of the most protected finishes in wrestling history.
Facts.
Get your shit together.
Alright. Facts. Well, great video. Great video. A lot of the finishes in there, I pretty much called just before. But I wouldn't have put Randy Orton as number 1. Not gonna lie, I would have done the Undertaker as number 1. But that was a great video from Cultaholic Wrestling. Make sure you subscribe to them. Make sure you hit up my subscribe button. Make sure you hit up the like button. Make sure you drop some comments down below. Let's have a little conversation. Yeah? Boom, bam, bim. Cool. So until next time, wash your things, peace, and all that good stuff. Yeah? Alright. Yeet.